She started a home-based business churning ice cream, but soon expanded to a central kitchen, and soon she will be operating a full-fledged ice cream cafe in Georgetown, Penang, Malaysia. She aspires to bring joy to people through her products and secretly wants to encourage people to be more creative and think out of the ice cream box. Hello and welcome to Season 7 of the Womenpreneur Asia podcast, and I'm your host, Krista Good. My mission is to uncover the stories and strategies of Asian women entrepreneurs in Asia to help you and inspire you as you navigate your own business journey. This episode is sponsored by Redbox Studio. Today I'm speaking to a Malaysian entrepreneur, Genevia Chin, who is the founder of Wonkie Ice Cream, previously known as 3 Tiers Ice Cream. Genevia, a spirited entrepreneur with a passion for frozen joy, started her first ice cream venture, 3 Tiers Ice Cream, when she came home to Penang after working in Singapore. In today's episode, we'll uncover the evolution of 3 Tiers Ice Cream into the newly rebranded Wonkie Ice Cream, and Genevia explains why the rebrand was necessary. Genevia's journey takes us through the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, from the thrill and pain of going viral to the invaluable lessons learned when the unexpected happens. This ice cream artisan has found her niche in alcoholic ice cream, and her story is as rich and diverse as her ice cream offerings. Let's get into the ice cream artisan's story. Hello, Genevia. Welcome to Womenpreneur Asia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Genevia, you've got a very interesting story for us today, and something that I find really fascinating because you're a young woman in business, and I like that aspect as well. But at the same time, you're also in an industry that's pretty interesting and fun. How do you feel about your business today?
For me, I think there are a lot of exciting times ahead of me. I would say it feels like a restart button, not from scratch, but maybe like a restart that I can launch further now with what's coming with my business. Yeah, that's how I will describe it. Yeah.
So I guess there's a lot of excitement because it's a relaunch of something that's been happening for some time now. How many years have you been in business?
To really sell, I mean, like in part of selling, I think around four years since 2019. Yeah, but in dabbling in this industry and in this specific products, I've been like playing around with it for almost like 5 to 6 years, I would say.
It's quite a good number of milestones you've achieved despite the relatively short time that you've been in the business, right? 5 to 6 years.
When you are into the business and looking at hindsight, there will always be thoughts that, I could have gone faster. I could have, do it bigger in a way. Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's pretty good.
Let's tell what business you're in. So it's like too much of anticipation for that. So what business are you really in, Genevia?
I am Genevia from 3 Tiers Ice Cream. We make artisanal ice cream, and currently we go into the niche market of alcoholic ice cream. Yeah, so 3 Tiers will soon be rebranded to Wonkie. The brand will be more aligned to what I envisioned this product will be. The ice cream will be, which is more fun, more adventurous, more cheeky. So we will use a lot of bright colors around it. We will have more exciting flavors coming up.
Now is a good time to actually backtrack a little bit. Let's start from the very beginning, because you told us like you're going to do a rebrand of this ice cream brand that you have and the business that you have. So let's start from the very beginning. What inspired you to start an ice cream business?
I used to work in Singapore, and during the weekends, like when you're too free in Singapore, there's nothing much to do actually in Singapore. So during the weekends, a lot of people will just cafe hop, go around and eat drinks with friends. So I came across this handcrafted ice cream shop in Singapore. Back then, I always know that I wanted to open my own business in F&B specifically, and maybe like a cafe. And then I think to myself, like, what will differentiate my cafe, my business? Because there's so many cafes. It's quite a saturated market, I would say. And so I came across this handcrafted ice cream and I thought, hey, this is quite interesting. Like ice cream, like, hey, I can do ice cream, right? So I started going to Singapore National Library and borrow all sorts of ice cream recipe books. And I start experimenting on them after my work. So after my work, like 6 o'clock, I'll go to, NTUC to buy cream, milk, sugar, and all the stuff, and then just like, dabble in my landlady's kitchen. So very grateful for her for letting me experimenting with all my ice cream in her kitchen and like using her freezer as well. So that's how it started. And then I still remember like my first ice cream that I made. There's no flavor in it. It's just purely cream and milk and sugar. So we call it sweet cream base, or they call it a white base as well because there's no flavor in it. And I just remember like after churning it and just get a spoonful of it, and just remember how good it is, like how creamy, how smooth it is. And I'm like, why is it so different from all the ice cream out there? The other more commercialized brand. I was like, it is so different and it's so good. I just remember like jumping up and down from aesthetic because it's so good. And then from there on, I guess there's no looking back. You just keep R&D with more fun flavors, more funky flavors, or there are some like chocolate and stuff like that, which is more classic ones. Yeah.
And that was in your landlady's kitchen.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess she was quite happy too, because I guess she got to eat ice cream or taste a lot of ice cream.
She doesn't like sweet stuff as much, but she doesn't cook as well. So, and she has
she had ample space.
Yeah,
ample space in the freezer.
Fridge. So she just allowed me to store it. Yeah.
And so that was your time in Singapore. So what happened after that? I mean, I'm sure you experimented, you found there was this passion for making ice cream. But why ice cream? Why not other kinds of desserts?
Fun fact is actually I did bake cakes as well initially, cookies and cakes. So a few years later, I decided to come back here and maybe start my small business in Penang, in Malaysia, because it's where my family is. So I guess it's like a sense of security. Touch wood, if it fails, at least I have something to fall back on, like my family is there. So I came back, I quit my job in Singapore and I came back. And at that time, I was doing cakes as well, birthday cakes, like more customized birthday cakes. So I was doing both ice cream and cakes simultaneously. And then it is at some point where I decided to just go all into ice cream. Reason being is because it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort in doing a cake from scratch. It might take almost the same time, like 3 to 4 hours cumulatively, but for cakes, you need to stretch out those time. Like you need to bake for a day, and you need to decorate for the next day, assemble the cake the next day, and then decorate it on the third day. So it takes a very long time, and I feel that the time and the effort doesn't justify for the price in the local market. Probably now it's better, like people are more willing to pay a higher price for a nicer cake. But at that
customized one, right? A fully customized.
Yeah, yes. So at that time, I feel that it doesn't justify that much. So that's why I went into ice cream fully.
But when you went to ice cream fully, when you came back, you were working in your family home kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
And how did that work out for you and your family? I mean, I bet you they tasted a lot of ice cream.
Even the ice cream and the cakes, I was like using my home kitchen as well. The good thing is my mom rented another unit below our apartment because she has her own business in tailoring as well. So she uses the apartment, the living room of the apartment for sewing and all the tailoring, and then I just conveniently use the kitchen for the ice cream. And then got a small chest freezer to store the ice cream. So at that time, I was still not so much known. So I do events more. So the good thing about events is that you know for sure that, okay, this is event. So I just prep probably like 3 days in advance and store it in the freezer. Yeah. So I don't need to have a lot of storing space at that time.
So it's actually quite fortunate that your mom had a unit so that you can actually do all those stuff without technically messing up the home kitchen, right?
Yes. So that's why I feel like this whole journey, I am really grateful for all the help that I've received throughout. Yeah.
So then you came back, you made ice cream while your mom was doing tailoring, her tailoring business. Where was the first breakthrough? I know you went to pop-up markets, you did events on the weekends.
The first breakthrough, I would say, ironically, probably the start of MCO. Yeah,
Which is
because
quite surprising, right?
yeah, surprising and not, because I have heard a lot of businesses they took a really high fly during MCO as well, especially those online business. So another lucky thing for me is that at that time I don't have a retail store. I don't have much commitment. It's just a home-based kitchen, and at that time I already have like all my logos set up, my social media page, so there is a platform where people can reach me. So at the start of MCO, the first 2 weeks was still, everyone was still like not sure what to do, like what happened, do we go out, do we not go out, can we drive out or can we not drive out. I think after going to the first and a half 1.5 week, I'm not too sure, but I started having a lot of DMs on Facebook and on Instagram asking about the ice cream. So at the time, I started manually processing all the orders in pints. I manually record all the orders, produce, transport them. I would do production on like Monday to Thursday and then send it to them on the weekends. It was all just me at that time. And then after that, I realized, oh no, this is taking too much time. The manually orders is taking too much time, and there's a lot of room for errors because people ordered, and then I might have not enough flavors or stock to fulfill them. So there's a lot of this error for me throughout. So and then I start googling on how to automate the process. I found at that time I was using Easy Store, and then after that I upgraded to Shopify because their back office was much better. Then I found, oh, there's delivery platform that are able to deliver on demand ice cream to people. So I've just figured how to automate the whole process so that I can focus on production. And yeah, so that's the whole story all compressed. Like a 1 year story all compressed.
You make it sound easy, but actually I'm sure it's not, right? I'm sure that the part of the research, figuring out what's the correct platform that you wanted to shift from one platform to another, I'm sure
Yeah.
that took some research and also thinking, deliberating, as well as the costing. So I guess when that is your breakthrough moment, but you have a couple of breakthrough moments, and I know this because I know you, is that you also moved from the home base to a retail outlet.
Yes.
So yeah, so talk us through that process. Like, when did that start? Was it when all the orders started coming in after you've automated your platform?
I wouldn't say it's a retail. It's, for me at that time, it's more like a central kitchen. I mean, at that time, I don't even know what is a central kitchen. I just thought of I need a bigger kitchen. So that's my train of thought at that time, because I outgrew my home kitchen, as in my mom's home kitchen. So I outgrew that. I needed more freezer space to accommodate for more orders. So at that, the house can only accommodate a small chest freezer. So I need a bigger space. So I just keep thinking, okay, I need a bigger kitchen. At that time, it was 2021, 1 year after I started selling online. And then I just came across this unit, this current central kitchen, which is bigger. And I think it was lucky because it was still kind of during a lockdown period. And I would say it is more of a tenants market. So the prices of the property is quite low because no one is doing Airbnb and that sort. So I got it at a pretty good price. And the location is pretty central for me. It's at Georgetown. And the kitchen is just the size that I needed at that time. Yeah. So that is the move out. I would say it would be another I don't see it as a milestone, but I guess it's like the little happy things for me.
Because you have more space now to work
Yeah.
in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did
And
you
then,
add on more people to also help you with the
yeah.
production?
So I first started with part timers in the production kitchen, and then slowly took up more part timers for service crew on event basis. So my current team is mostly all part-timers. I only have one full-time in production right now. Mostly they are all part-timers for me in service because I do a lot of events, right? And it doesn't make sense for me also to hire a full-time to run events that which only happens on the weekends. So we take up a lot of part-timers, college kids, but I would call them my permanent part-timers because they come every weekend. Yeah, so the team, I would say the business model is pretty lean at the beginning, which I'm grateful for. It's pretty lean and I expand when I needed to.
Do you feel that you should have grown faster?
I feel that I should have grown faster. I have a fear. I just recently realized this actually. But I have a fear, or I think more accurately, I have an anxiety when I know that I'm being stagnant. So I will feel anxious if I'm not moving, if it makes sense to you. Yeah. So just a fear of like, like staying here.
Standing still.
Yes, like stagnant, like your revenue has plateau. I mean, it's not bad. We still profit, but it's plateau. So it's like, so what do we do now? I mean, you're comfortable, but you're not moving upwards. Yeah. So I get anxious from that.
So it's not so much the fear of growth, but the fear of not growing, like not growing at the rate that you feel you should be growing.
I have fear on both things, but it's a different fear. If I were to grow big and fast, the fear would be a more exciting sort of fear. But if it's a stagnant one, it's more of like a fear of failure.
That's interesting. I would like to talk about the fear of failure. What is it about failure that scares you, Genevia?
My partner actually stated to me before that I should just go to do things more because he realized that I have a fear of failure. Probably looking back, so I did some reflection because looking back, I was a good students in school, like passing with grades, some position
Straight
in my
A,
high school.
straight A.
Yeah, something like that. And then like just like the goody kids in school who follow the rules. And in business, there's no set of rules. There's no set of SOP to follow. There's no like set of, okay, if you do this and you do this, you will be successful. Not like in school, right? If you just memorize the whole textbook of sejarah, you will be sure to pass and get A. In business, there's no like straightforward rules or instructions to do to go to be successful for your business. I guess looking back after my reflection, I realized that I am scared to take action because I am not sure what results it will bring, what if it fails. But my partner, on the other hand, he loves to fail because to him, right, he knows that this is not the method to do it. So he can just cancel off the method and go try another method. So that's how he sees, like 1 to 10. Okay, he tried everything, then at least he knows 2, 4, 6. It's not the method to do those things, and he can just cancel it out from his list forever. But for me, I will just like keep thinking. It will be like analysis paralysis for me. Yeah. So this is something that I'm still learning to do, to take action. I think it's more on the mind that is playing tricks, that makes the failure bigger than what it is. Yeah, so journaling helps me right now to write out all my fear or like what ifs and stuff like that, and then you realize, it's actually not as bad as I thought it is in my head. Yeah.
That's a very interesting perspective because I think a lot of entrepreneurs do have this anxiety, right? It's like a dilemma. like they want to do this, but on the other hand, they may also worry about what if it doesn't go the way they want it to go, and
Yeah.
what happens then, right? So I think that is also part and parcel of being an entrepreneur. You will never fully overcome that.
Yeah, there's always like a higher pressure threshold that you will have to accommodate, I guess. Before I open up the space for retail, probably my pressure threshold is only here. But after I open it up with all the service and customer service and orders that I have to fulfill and events I have to run, then probably I can take the pressure better. I can take, the failure better. So it's always like increasing your threshold.
So then when you found your central kitchen, okay, and then you have your people to help you with making the ice cream and all that. So when that happened, did it make it easier for you to open the retail part of it, allowing people to come in to buy?
Yes.
Or is it retail as in like allowing people to come in to eat the ice cream in your store?
So to be honest, starting this ice cream business initially, I have no business plan. I have no 21 pages of business plan. The 5 years of my vision of where do I want to go.
A projection, right? A projection
I
of
have
your
none of
earnings.
this. For me, it's just I want to make fun flavors and I want to sell it to people and I want to let them enjoy the product. So that's just my thought at that time. But when I started having commitments and then I started having a team and a product and people start coming back for the ice cream, we need to streamline the processes, the quality control and everything. And answering to your question, right, opening up the retail was not in the plan. After a year or so, after getting this kitchen, half a year after getting this kitchen, I realized that MCO has loosened, people start going out, and then our online orders actually drop by a lot because people just go out and cafe hop. So who would want to buy ice cream online and having it delivered like the next day while you can just go out and eat ice cream, right? So our order dropped a lot, and so I pivoted because I have commitment now, I have rental, I have salary to pay. So I pivoted to, okay, why not the front part of my kitchen, the whole heritage house space, the front part of it, I have some space. So I bought some furniture, a freezer, and then set up a team, a service crew, permanent part-timers, and then just open up the retail. And then I did a advertisement on Penang Holiao, which went viral unexpectedly. I really do not have any expectation. My thought of going for the ads is just to let people know where am I, but it went viral. So that is.
So this is the video, right? That they came and did of.
Yeah. So they gave us a package. I took up their package, video and photos. So the first week they're gonna post the photos, and then 2 weeks after they're gonna post the videos. Yeah, so that's how the package works. So it kind of went viral on the photos itself. Yeah, and then I remember them telling me that they will start posting it on around 5 p.m. on a weekday, because at that time we set our opening time Friday to Sunday, so it was on a Thursday weekday. So at 5:30 they posted, and then at 7 or 8 p.m. I started getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of WhatsApp. So mind you, I gave them my private number. So it's still my private number right now, which is Treatiest Ice Cream. So I started having a lot of WhatsApp and a lot of phone calls. It's like, hey, hello, Treatiest, are you open? I'm like, no, we are open tomorrow, like Friday. I was like wondering, why am I suddenly getting so many calls and so many messages? Then I realized, oh, the ads ran out. And then I just keep getting phone calls non-stop for like a week or two. And then a new anxiety came about. An anxiety of, what if I don't have enough ice cream to serve? What if my ice cream melted? Because at that time, my freezer, there's some like problems with my freezer. So if they open it up too many times, right, the ice cream will start melting, because alcoholic ice cream itself is already pretty soft. So if they're still opening up the freezer a lot of time, the freezer temperature is not stable, and then the ice cream started melting and it was like so soft. And then I remember I remember I was in my friend's wedding. It was around October, my friend's wedding. I was in my friend's wedding, and then my team started texting me, hey, ice cream melting already lah. Cannot use or how? I'm like, I was the bridesmaid on my friend's wedding. I was like having anxious anxiety. I'm like, shit, what should I do? So I just decided to close for the day. Yeah, instead of compromising the quality.
Wow. So going viral is actually not that positive in certain ways if you're not ready for it, because
Yes.
otherwise it can backfire, right?
Yes. True.
Wow.
So looking back, I was completely not ready for it. I completely did not know what came crashing upon me. Because to be honest, I was not in culinary school to begin with, and I didn't have a lot of experience working in restaurants or with F&B. I did a lot of part times with F&B, but mainly waitress and service crew, but not management team. So there's a lot of things that I'm still learning right now, and that was one of like I would say it was a very powerful experience for me. Yeah. I mean, moving forward, I hope I go viral again. I hope the business go viral again, because this time I would be better prepared for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think sometimes it's just this, like, just making sure that you have the right things in place first before moving to the next step, right?
Yeah.
So would you call it as one of the most challenging moments in your business?
In my time, yes. I think the business maybe not, but in my own experience as a business owner, yes, I would say it's one of the top 3. Yeah.
Challenges.
Yes, top 3 challenges.
Okay, so now let's talk about marketing. So you did mention that when you started from your home kitchen, and then from there you pivoted, and also you pivoted based on customer demands, right? Like when people were coming out after the pandemic lockdown, people wanted to go cafe hopping. So you actually realized that they wanted to come and get instant gratification rather than order and wait for the ice cream the next day or 24 hours later. So in terms of marketing, what did you find most, how should I say, most useful for your business throughout these few years?
I would say do a lot of trial and error. It's actually from what my mentor taught me. It's you have to keep it simple, because you have to keep it simple, the first thing, and the second thing, you have to keep in mind, what do you want to be known for? What do your business want to be known for? And just keep that thing simple. So for me, when I started doing when I started selling to people, I sort of know that they are gearing more towards alcoholic ice cream, specifically rum and raisin ice cream, right? But at that time, I was just like, okay, just like they buy rum and raisin, but they also buy French vanilla and dark chocolate. So I was just selling everything. And then when we promote it in the ads with Penang Holiao, and we use the tagline of alcoholic ice cream in Penang, and then that went viral. And then I did another like ads on specifically rum and raisin and specifically alcoholic ice cream, and then that has a lot of good response from it. So I guess from trial and error, I kind of find the niche tagline, the marketing tagline that I know works for my business, and I just keep, putting more money on it to market it, and keep utilizing that tagline because it works, right? So my advice would be like, do a lot of trial and error and see what works, and then stick to what works, and just keep putting more effort, more time, more energy, more money on just honing what works for you. Yeah.
And in terms of alcoholic ice cream, what flavors have you developed over the last few years since you've decided to hone in on just selling alcoholic ice cream?
But that's quite a lot. Like the most recent one, we have yogurt roku gin. There's another one like Jim Beam whiskey with nuts. Looking at the spectrum of alcohol in the market, there's actually a lot that we can play around with. Yeah. So we have we made our own bourbon whiskey. We made our own coffee bourbon. We play around with shandy sorbet. It's a beer sorbet. And then upcoming for Christmas, we are planning to do a sangria sorbet, a wine and orange one for Christmas. Yeah, so we just keep playing around. But I also want to shine some light on local liquor or local alcohol, such as tuak, which we known as toddy in Penang. Yeah, so we are still like doing R&D around that, because toddy itself, it's quite sweet to begin with, so we can't add a lot of sugar, or we have to play around with the recipe quite a bit. Yeah.
And what gives you inspiration for all these recipes? Is it like some friends mentioned, oh, I wish you had an alcohol ice cream in this flavor? Or is it like, oh, I like this alcohol, can you turn it into ice cream?
I think the inspiration is just from my daily life. I'll go grocery shopping and see, oh, that's fine. And then, or like my friend will tell me, or we'll just flipping through Instagram. I think it's all over the places. Yeah. But it's just after that, we actually wrote down all our ideas on a piece of paper that we stick on our wall. But from there, we will kind of handpick a few that I think might work, because some might be like over the top, like too extreme, that cannot work, that kind. But so we will just handpick a few of the flavors that I think can work, and we just start R&D on it. Yeah. If a few times, or like if R&D and then it doesn't work, I probably will just put it aside first, keep it in the archive, and then go about with other flavors. And then probably, when we have some new learnings, or like some people who give us a new tips, then only I will go back to that flavors and then just R&D again. That's usually how my process works. Yeah.
Okay. So now it'll be interesting to also have a day in the life of Genevia, the ice cream artisan, right?
Today is more production for events, right? So in the morning, we do a lot of production in the kitchen. And then at the same time, I will also handle a lot of orders, because right now we have a few channels, a few sales channel, I would say. So we have B2B, which is the retail on the weekend and the online orders. And then we have B2C, which is to cafes. So we have a lot of cafes under us as well. And we do a lot of event companies. They will come and approach us for either private events, or they have event booth on certain places like Gurney Plaza, that sort. So they will ask us to be one of their vendors. So that's one of our sales channel as well. I will take 1 to 2 hours to handle all the inquiries, quotations. So I also do my own accounts. So that will take probably another hour for me to send invoices to the cafes, pay the bills, stuff like that. So it's a lot of dry stuff. It's not like directly playing with ice cream. So there will be a lot of inquiries, invoicing, quotations, and then deliver as well. Sometimes I do deliver to cafes. And then we will open up for people to walk in. So even though we don't do dining in on weekends, we do open up our doors for people to walk in and buy, pickups and deliveries on online orders. And then recently I started doing ice cream cakes. So it's a custom order. So sometimes we do ice cream cakes as well. And so there's a lot of small little things that I'm still handling. So I would say right now I am still all over the places. So I'm still in the midst of organizing my calendar, my responsibilities.
And when does your day end?
Usually we close at 5. Yeah, but unofficially I still reply to WhatsApp like late at night if there's any inquiries. Yeah.
So basically, it doesn't stop even when you technically end or close shop.
That's a weekday. Yeah, for the weekend, it ends when the event ends, I guess.
So for weekends, you will be out with your team to do events and also to do
events. Yeah.
Okay, so when that happens, can people still go to your shop and get the ice cream if they want to?
Yes,
You still
so
have another team at the shop,
yes,
right?
I have a team standby at the shop, and then I will also go to the events. For example, like wedding events, that would only take around 3 to 4 hours. So I will also go because we need to carry all our wooden carts, our ice cream carts over there. So my team will handle the dining in because it's quite stable and it's quite straightforward. And then I will usually handle the events.
You have been in business for a number of years now, and
Mm.
you've been doing marketing, and I think you're pretty smart at doing marketing too. I mean, you're doing so many different things, like you're doing B2B and B2C. When you first started, was it difficult for you in terms of marketing? Because, like you say, when you first started, people were not familiar yet with your brand. Did you have to knock on a lot of doors, or what do you have to do to get people to really like say, okay, yes, I'll try your ice cream, or yes, I'll buy your ice cream?
So there's two there's actually two ways because it's B2B and B2C, right? Previously, before MCO, I wanted to go into cafes already. I have the thought of getting cafe clients and supplying to cafes already. So at that time, it was like end of 2019, I remember. I actually walk into cafes one by one. Like I will just pick a day, probably like, okay, Monday it's Beach Street Day. So I will just walk. I will write down a list of cafes that I will want to approach, and then just drive with my ice cream sample and just walk one by one, cafe to cafe, and approach the person and say, okay, hi, I have this sample. Would you be, open to try? So we also provide this. So I will pass them my samples and my price list, but actually out of 10, maybe only one that come back to me just to ask but not to order. So that's quite tough looking back in hindsight, but I'm glad I did that. And then for in terms of customers, B2C, right, direct customers, I am grateful that during MCO, the barrier to buying online is lowered because people have no choice but to buy online. And at that time, I only offer in pint size. But I do pack up. So when you churn ice cream, right, there's tend to be like some odd leftover. So I will pack them up in smaller cups. So for example, if that customer just want to test market or like test water on our business, and they just buy one flavor rum and raisin in pint, and so I know from that flavor is like this person probably likes alcohol. So I will then give them like a small sample of our smoked chocolate whiskey packed together with their pint size orders. I deliver to them, and then I will, maybe a few days later, I will drop them a WhatsApp and say, hey, what do you think about the rum and raisin? What do you think about the sample that I gave you? Then they will, oh, okay, very nice. Then they will want to place another order. So that's how I let people to try other flavors when they can't walk in. So
And
yeah,
that work better than you're walking to cafes.
definitely.
Definitely, right?
Yeah. So at that time, so for like the first 1 or 2 years, I pivot and I focus on direct customers, selling online and retails. What I realized, when you have built your brand name with direct to customers, the cafe brand owners, they will come and look for you instead of me having to walk up to them, which makes sense because cafes owners are human too, right? So they also scroll on Instagram. They
They
also
also
read
eat ice cream.
reviews. Yeah.
They also eat
So
ice
they
cream,
also
right?
eat ice cream. Like probably like their friends who bought their ice cream who tell, oh, treat this, rum and raisin very nice, and you can go try it. So they are humans as well. So they also go have a look. They also watch platforms that what we watch as well, social media, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. And we do a lot of, after MCO reopen, we do a lot of wedding events. I find that wedding is especially good for our brand awareness because first, it's free ice cream. Everyone loves free ice cream. You just have to eat and you don't have to pay. And then we just have to print like our logo big front and center for them to know. So after they eat the ice cream, they will tend to come back and ask, hey, where can I buy this? Where is your shop? That's the most common question. So it's a lot of, in a way, it's like free marketing for us. those that takes up events for weddings. Yeah. And then a lot of them are also business owners, entrepreneurs. So the words get out, so they know that, oh, they maybe next time they want to open a cafe, and then they know, oh, there's this ice cream supplier which is, a pretty good quality one, so they can just approach us. Yeah, so it's a good cycle. There's no one thing that is successful. It's just a lot of small consecutive steps to build, to market, and then I think those small little steps, it will pay forward to your ultimate, your next order, your next business orders. Yeah.
What I find interesting and fascinating about your story is that you do dare to take risks. You try a lot of different things, and from trying, you get feedback and you improve upon each step that you take, right? And that's how you ended up with your alcoholic ice cream as a niche. I know you're rebranding from 3 tiers to Wonkie. So that's by itself is a story, right? What made you think, okay, now we're famous for 3 tiers and now we want to rebrand? Talk me through that process. Like, how do you feel like, oh, now we have this strong following and now I have to tell my people that, hey, now we're a new brand and with a new brand and look and logo and colors?
The story about 3 tiers is, to be honest, I didn't put much thought in naming the brand or the whole vision mission about 3 tiers. At that time, I was just, an event manager, wanted to know my logo and my name. And at that time, I have none. I just have a product without a name. So I just just 3 tiers because it was written somehow in my journal. So I just took that and go with it. So along the time, I've been wanting to change the name for quite some time, to be honest, because when we went viral, that's where the problem stared at me in the face. There have been a lot of people, young, old, girl, like female, male, they will call in, hello, 3 tire ah? Lu be ice cream ah? I'm like, yes, not 3 tire. Yes, 3 tiers, 3 tiers. Like, I will still get those phone calls and the name.
Until today?
Till today, yes.
Okay.
So, but I kind of like normalized it already. They will be like, hey, 3 tire, you sell ice cream? And I'm like, yes, this is 3 tiers. Yes, we do provide ice cream. So that's the first sign for me that, oh God, I need to change my name. So first thing, I think what I learned from learning from other people about marketing is also your brand name needs to be easily pronounced. And the best way to do it is it has to be easily pronounced by a kid, either a kid or maybe like a auntie, a old grandma, those that are easily pronounced are more sticky to the mind. They stays in the mind longer. So 3 tiers doesn't exactly gives me the vibe of an ice cream. It gives me more like a wedding cake. I don't know, like a treat.
Yeah, it does sound like a cake or bakery kind of name.
Yeah. So that's the first thing that I want to change, actually, for quite some time. And when this new shop that I am building right now came in, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to just change everything together. So like what I've said in the beginning, it's more like a restart button for me. But right now, I'm not restarting from zero. I'm probably restarting from 50, 60%. So it's sort of like a restart for me, I would say. So Wonkie, I put a lot of effort into developing this brand message that I want to convey to my customers, the aesthetic of the brand, the product of the brand, the core values. I know more right now in terms of marketing, in terms of business. It's a good opportunity for me to just rebrand the whole thing and start afresh in a way.
And you also are refurbishing an outlet with all the new brand elements.
So it's a brand new outlet and we are renovating it right now. It's at B Street. So the new outlet would be fully dine-in because it can accommodate on both sides. Why we don't do dining in right now and we only do it on Friday, Saturday, Sundays because our space is an open concept. When my team is doing production, I find it pretty unhygienic if I were to let people to just sit there and walk back and forth for toilets and stuff like that, right? So the new space, we have a brand new kitchen, we have a storage space, so and also we have plenty of beautiful, beautiful chairs and dining space for people to just, enjoy the whole experience of ice cream. Yeah.
So that's going to be the brand new outlet, rebranded, called Wonkie
Yes.
on Beach
Yes.
Street, right, in
Yes.
Georgetown. Okay.
I would say this would truly be a milestone for me.
And thinking about Wonkie now, what are your hopes for your brand in the coming years? I know we cannot project too far into the future because we don't know what's going to happen anyway. But for the next 1 to 2 years, what are your dreams and hopes for the ice cream brand that is now called Wonkie?
Ultimately, ice cream should bring, joy to people. And I hope when people look at Wonky and think of Wonky, that's what they feel, that it brings joy and happiness to them. It's the experience that I want them to feel. For me, food brings people together, regardless of ice cream, desserts, food and beverage in general brings people together to create good memories together. So this is what I hope Wonky will be able to do for them. Yeah, besides providing good ice cream.
So are you just going to really just focus on ice cream, or will there be plans to extend the line of offerings to other kinds of food?
It will be ice cream, but it will be a variation of ice cream products. So to me, ice cream is like a blank canvas. It's like a medium, right? You can be just on a scoop, you can be on a pine, but you can also be, on an ice cream cake. Wonkies will have more offerings, something like a beer float. So we can do a beer float, but it's with a beer, so it's alcoholic. We are sticking to our niche market, and it will also have alcoholic sundaes. I call it boozy sundaes. For example, like tiramisu sundaes or some other whiskey sundaes. So it will be more towards the alcoholic lines, but also different variation of how we present ice cream to the people.
I also know from our previous conversation is that a lot of females actually like alcoholic ice cream.
Oh yeah. Yes, because ice cream itself, it's a sweet dessert, right? Like women are more geared towards desserts, and alcoholic is something different from the normal desserts. My perspective or my reasoning would be like a glass of liquor might be too strong to a female palate, but when you add it into something sweet, it kind of tones down, right? It's alcoholic, but it's not too, burning to the throat or too bitter to the taste. It also makes sense when you look at a bar menu. Female will tend to order margarita, they will tend to order something sweet cocktails as compared to the men. You don't see a lot of alcoholic ice cream in the market. So it's also maybe them wanting to try something new, something special. There's something that you can't get often in the market. Yeah. But we do get a lot of men, especially, coming with their other male friend just to eat ice cream, like just to eat one scoop of ice cream. In fact, like right now I have like a guy, probably are working somewhere nearby here, who comes every Friday without miss. Every Friday just to have a scoop of ice cream with a
By
cone
himself?
on a cone by himself. Probably during his lunchtime. You just walk in, he just order and you just eat. And then after eat, he'll just leave. Every Friday without miss.
As a woman, I think ice cream would be something interesting to share with your female friends, but at the same time, it adds an element of difference because we don't want to have the regular flavors, right? The regular flavors, we know what they are. But we want to
Yeah.
try something unique, like something like you say, whiskey
Yeah.
in the ice cream or rum in your ice cream or tua in your ice cream would be something quite interesting, like Instagrammable too, right? Like you go and make a real Instagram reel about having this alcoholic ice cream with your friends.
Another thing I want to add on to Wonky is, right, besides alcoholic, we actually also do a lot of adventurous flavors, a lot of fun flavors. That is very dear to my heart because I love being creative, and this is my creative outlet through ice cream. So moving forward, I also hope Wonky in a way can inspire people to dare to be creative and dare to think outside the box. Besides joy, I also hope that, to inspire them, we can do a lot of workshops, ice cream workshop, where they can play around with flavors, like no judgment. You want to put whatever into your ice cream, we do not judge you. Yeah, because
Or you can go build your favorite ice cream, right, from scratch.
yeah, because actually the one of the craziest ice cream that I've done to date, probably dried squid in my ice cream, and
Okay.
it tastes really good. Initially, I was just trying.
It sounds strange.
Yeah, I know, it does. So I just want to like play around with it. But when it came out and I let like my team member to try, at that time I was attending an ice cream class, and the chef said that okay, on the fifth day, which is the last day of the class, you can try with whatever ice cream that you want. So I was like, okay, why not just try dried squid? At the time I was in the Pasar Malam and I saw those dried squid around. So I just tried it. And then it was really good. Everyone in the class was surprised that it tasted so good and so edible. Yeah.
Did it taste at all like dried squid?
Yeah. We added sun-dried tomato. It's kind of like savory, and the sun-dried tomato is a bit like tangy. It's kind of quite pretty well balanced ice cream. Yeah.
Interesting. Never thought of dried squid in ice cream. I always think of terms of fruits, something very palatable to our tongue and our ability to accept it. Because I think first thing is actually your ability to accept that thing in your ice cream, like dried squid ice cream. Okay, it really blows your mind.
This is where we like to push the boundary a little bit, not too much because people tend to get scared and like not try at all. So just push like a bit, and then when they can accept it, and then we try to push a bit more, and ultimately, I mean, Treatius itself have already had a following. Like we have a lot of regular customers who knows that we are adventurous and like to play around with flavors. In fact, we have like a small group with our regulars. We call it Ice Cream Social Club. So whenever I have like funky flavors or new flavors that I would like them to try, I will just post it in the group, and they will be gladly be open to try the new flavor. Treaty is kind of like also known for being, adventurous with our flavors.
And also giving them a chance to try something they wouldn't even find commercially, right?
And yeah, sort of like a test market as well.
Yeah, which is a very smart move, because I think if this group of people who are already your ice cream fans enjoy the flavors, perhaps you could consider putting it out there for other people to taste and buy. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start a business like yours, or even any business?
So the advice that I always tell people is just do it. Sometimes I even tell it to myself because sometimes I tend to forget. So don't overthink things and just do it. And also at the same time, trust the process. Do the work and trust the process. Yeah.
Okay. And personally, what goal are you focused on this year?
This year, I focused pretty heavily on my mental health and discovering my limiting beliefs, because I feel that's what's stopping me to break through to another ceiling. Yeah, so that's what I have. I do a lot of reflection, a lot of meditation, a lot of journalings to find out my own limiting beliefs.
And finally, where can people find you online if they want to follow you, taste your ice cream?
So right now you can follow our Wonkie Instagram page. We have a new Instagram page for Wonkie. It's at Wonkie Ice Cream. And personally, you can follow my private Instagram page, which is at Genevia Chin.
Thank you, Genevia, and all the best for your new reset and rebrand for 3 Tiers to Wonkie.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And there you have it, the captivating journey through the delightful universe of Wonkie Ice Cream. Before we wrap up this flavor-packed episode, let's savor the 3 key takeaways from Genevia Chin's enchanting story. 1. Small steps lead to great success. Genevia's entrepreneur journey started with small experimental steps in her landlady's kitchen, armed with books that she had checked out of the library. From these modest beginnings and countless experimentation, she crafted a business that is now known for its alcoholic ice cream. 2. Embrace change and adapt. The pandemic prompted a shift in strategy for Wonkie Ice Cream. Genevia seamlessly adapted, moving from pop-up markets and fairs to an online presence and eventually opening a physical store. Embracing change and being flexible allowed Wonkie to not just survive, but thrive. 3. Inspire creativity and daring. Wonkie Ice Cream isn't just about flavors. It's a celebration of creativity and daring. From the quirky taste tests of the Ice Cream Social Club to the infusion of local spirits such as Tua and Toddy, Genevia encourages us all to think outside the cone. She reminds us that limitations only exist if we let them, and true innovation comes from pushing boundaries. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, an ice cream fan, or someone seeking inspiration, Wonkie Ice Cream story is a reminder that sweetness often lies just beyond the edge of the unexpected. Thank you for joining us on this flavorful ride through the Wonkie Ice Cream Chronicles. Keep dreaming, creating, and indulging in the sweet symphony of life. Until our next episode, stay whimsical, stay daring, and always leave room for dessert.